Hey, how's it going? It's Harris, founder of Open Rates Only. In this video primarily, I'm going to tell you how we added $70,000 of monthly recurring revenue to a 7-figure business in just 30 days. You can see here, this is the total email revenue from May, June, and July. This column right here, $10,000 in May. We joined in June, $26,000, and then in July, $95,000. So added around 20% bottom line to this 7-figure brand. I'm going to tell you the before, the after, how we did it, and a step-by-step process to get the same results. If you're just starting out with your email system or you want to dive deep and really get into the weeds of Klaviyo. Awesome. Let's get right into this. So like I said before, 3.67% of their revenue was coming from Klaviyo and or $10,000. They had around 3 flows live. They had the welcome, the browse, and the abandoned checkout. These actually are your money-making flows, but they weren't optimized. But more importantly, their pop-up was converting at 3.5%. Do note that 90% of e-commerce brands are probably at 3 to 4% on their pop-up rate. I think an average was done, and 3% is actually the e-commerce average. So if you can get to 5%, that's great. If you can get to 10%, that's amazing. And if you can get to 15, well, you're in the 99th percentile. Not only that, but they sent 2 to 4 emails a month. At this point, I kind of could tell that email was left under the radar, completely normal. We knew that there was potential. We hopped in, did an audit, and that's when we knew. So after simple 4-step strategy, optimize the pop-up, start sending 3 to 4 to 5 campaigns a week, and then also rewrite, redesign, and make sure you have every single post-purchase flow and pre-purchase flow live. So your pre-purchase flows, your welcome flow, your browse abandonment, the abandoned checkout, the abandoned cart, add to snippet, the site abandonment. All of these are going to generate 90% of your flow revenue. This is where the bulk of revenue will be generated. And then on your post-purchase side, it's more about the customer's experience, but also removing buyer's remorse. So you have the new customer flow, the 2X flow, the VIP flow, the review flow, the sunset flow, and the win back flow. Got to make sure you're winning back customers and cleaning your list with the sunset flow. So in the first week of working with them, that small jump was the integration of all of the pre-purchase flows within 1 week. We started sending campaigns as well within the second day, and we started A/B testing that pop-up. We cracked the pop-up in basically July 4th. So by the time we cracked the pop-up, all the flows were ready, and 5 times as many people started to flow through the flows. Why? Because we A/B tested the pop-up around 14 plus times and took them from a 3.5% to a 15% day over day submission rate. As you can see here, 4%. And then right when July hit, we cracked the pop-up 10%, cracked it 14%, and day over day, 12, 13, 14, 15% during the most views they've ever gotten on their website. We've had the highest pop-up rate ever. So it's super important because, again, they started to scale Facebook ads, and guess what? We started to capture 15% of these people that were coming to the website. This is a top 99 percentile pop-up. Very few e-commerce brands are above 10%. So if you're in this range, 10% and above, you are killing it. Again, why is this important? Well, less money to Zuckerberg, and all the money spent on Google ads, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, Pinterest ads, when they come to the website and they sign up to the pop-up rather than going back into the void, well, you basically get to retarget this customer. 5 times as many people are now going through the flows, and 5 times as many people are receiving the campaigns. And that's a lot better than kind of spending more money on ad spend to retarget this customer. Awesome. So like I said, the e-com pop-up rate is around 3 to 3.5%. And by the second week, every single flow was live. And again, good flows are the epitome of product research and branding, but also reading every single review and creating a customer avatar. You have to know who you're selling to. And what we like to do is a touch of branded direct response. Me personally, I have studied so many old school direct response copywriters, so that's kind of what I like to tap into. It's just a fancy way of making the customer take action now, but more importantly, touching their pain points, using copywriting frameworks, and doing it in a way that isn't too salesy, but comes off as you are helping them. Awesome. So something to note with this brand is that their LTV was phenomenal. So every bit of new customer revenue mattered, and that's exactly what we did. You can tell that the flows and the killer pop-up was the main needle mover with this brand. Not every brand will be this similar. Sometimes your pop-up rate just cannot crack. It's completely normal. But the most important thing that you must kind of realize is making sure that that post-purchase experience is branded. It feels nice, because when someone spends a lot of money, even if they buy anything short and sweet, you want to reward them. You want to remove that buyer's remorse. Instead of, when you buy something expensive, you kind of have that feeling in your stomach. You want to take that away. You want to talk about what their product is, what's to come, and excite them so that they'll come back twice, 3 times, or 4 times, and become a VIP. Awesome. So what we did with this brand specifically is create something called a non-purchaser segment. So what happens is people went through the welcome flow, went through the welcome SMS. They started to trickle down. If they didn't purchase within the welcome series, we then have now a segment called a non-purchaser segment that is basically a segment of people who have not bought yet or made their first purchase, but they're sitting and just waiting to be sold to. So again, we took advantage of that and we send 3 to 4 emails to this segment every single week. And that recovers $10,000 to $20,000 every single month. Every bit of revenue matters. And if your LTV for this brand especially is probably around $300 to $500, that first purchase is so important. So you can see here, May, we weren't with the brand. They were on 3%. On average, $10,000 is what they were doing. We came in mid-June, hit around $26,000. In July, 95. August, 112. So we went from 26, 31, 26, 28. So on average, this is a one product store, hovering around 28 to 30%, still absolutely smashing it, right? Added that huge chunk of revenue for them, $70,000, $80,000, sometimes even $90,000 or $100,000. That's around 20% bottom line added to the business. And then here, almost around 30%. So what do we do now? How do we move this even further? Is we're going to go into Black Friday and talk a little bit about that and how we had a record-breaking month and hit around $200,000 for this brand. Now, and this is the epitome again of A/B testing, knowing exactly what your customer wants, but also strategically setting up campaigns for this month, and that's what we did. 2 things to keep in mind. If you're running a month-long sale, if you're running a sale at all, you want to make sure your flows, pop-ups, and campaigns are all working in tandem, right? Our pop-up, our flows, our welcome flow was all working in tandem to get as many people on the list. And this kind of helped supercharge their welcome flow revenue. Just imagine for a second, if your email agency 20x your email revenue, that's something that seems too good to be true in this day and age. As they began to scale Facebook ads during November, our pop-up began to capture 15% of customers coming to the website. And of course, we created hyper-specific flows for Black Friday. You can tell right here, this is the first number is the welcome flow, and then second is the SMS. So the welcome flow doubled and the SMS flow tripled. You can see here, this is November, 15.3% submission rate, around 4.5 thousand submits for 30,000 people that viewed the form, which is absolutely killer. Again, this is what happens when you know your customer. You create pop-ups, campaigns, and flows that all work in tandem. What will happen? You'll smash your projections. Like I said, we smashed flow revenue, but how did we also dominate the campaign sector? Because again, you'll notice $61,000 is extremely higher than what we did on average before. Now, an extra $10,000 is great, but an extra $60,000 is on another level. What do? Well, holiday season means 2 things, gifts and more gifts. You have to create fun, exciting, captivating, and even LTV-focused campaigns, and that's exactly what we did. We had a plethora of creative angles. We increased the campaign frequency, meant we went from 3 to 4 emails a month, a week, to around 4 to 5 emails a week. Because again, customers want to buy things. They want to buy things, especially if they're on sale. You just have to nudge them, but do it in a creative way that's not just 20% off, shop now. Again, every email was designed to sell, but we never did it in a way that was pushy, but instead content focused. And again, these marketing emails that are meant to completely sell the customer, they weren't repetitive and they weren't boring. And that's kind of the keys to good email marketing. So here's some of the metrics. And again, I do think a lot of these are vanity metrics. The only thing that does really matter is revenue. Open rates don't really matter that much. Kind of ironic, our name is open rates only. Open rates don't really matter as long as you're on the 50 to 60% range. It means your deliverability is probably in check. Click rates, 2%, 2.25%. Actually pretty freaking good for this brand. But that was just a combination of a lot of amazing things that happened this month, from amazing gift guides, but we did it in a way that was super fun. We had kind of specific recipe emails to kind of increase LTV. But also the way we start and end sales, the way we bring hype to sales is what really crushed for them. Awesome. Just another picture of kind of that increase, $200,000 increase. So using our subject line tactics and extremely creative angles, we generated $61,000 through campaigns on basically a one product store. Now they do have multiple products, but they specifically focus on one product, and that's kind of what blows it out the water for them. And $138,000 through flows. So this was generating a 38% of their email and SMS through a one product store. I will guarantee now this 7-figure brand will turn into an 8-figure brand. And guess what? They have a killer email system in their back end to absolutely crush ongoing. Awesome. So keep in mind, 40% for a one product store is extremely good. 20 to 30 to 40% is kind of the range you want to be in. If you're in the 30 to 40% range, you're absolutely crushing. So that's something to keep in mind. You have to create emails that are exciting to open. Something to keep in mind, and if you want to go check out our Black Friday strategy, this is kind of how we start and end sales. Our Black Friday strategy for our 8-figure brand, where we generated $700,000 in just 4 days. Go check that out. It's our step-by-step Black Friday strategy, what we did and actually how we're revamping it next year. Completely exposed it, showed you exactly what I put the content in, but the more importantly why I'm telling you this is a couple of things. We use a couple of softwares like timers and calendar, add to calendar events. What we like to do is, instead of telling the customer, hey, on November 8th, our sale is going to be live and it's going to be 30% off, we don't like to do that. What we like to do is build hype, build curiosity, kind of maybe instead of telling them the offer, make them click something to figure out the offer, right? Make someone engage to get the offer and understand when it starts and when it ends. What it does is it makes someone psychologically engage with the brand rather than seeing it and then forgetting about it. It's almost like a, social media these days. People are always scrolling, not really focused, and our attention spans are low. What this means is you need to get the customer to engage, to step out of the competition. Not many brands were using timers. Not many brands were using add to calendars. What this gave us the opportunity to do was have push notifications when the sale was live. We had thousands of people sign up to these calendars, and they got push notifications when the sale is live and an email. So it's not going to be easy to do this, generating 30% of your email revenue. But just like you've seen today, we took this brand, the 7-figure brand, from around $16,000, and on average, it was probably, if we let the month of June, play out without us being there, it's probably $8,000 to $95,000 in just 30 days. And now they're generating $200,000 through email and SMS after the course of 5 months working with us. So basically 0% email attributed revenue to 38% attributed revenue, which is absolutely insane. So again, epitome of testing, understanding the customer avatar, having a team of copywriters, designers, and true email strategies who have worked in multiple niches. Having an in-house team is great. It will do the job by all means. I think every email strategy actually works. That's the thing, which is kind of nuanced. Some email strategies are just a lot better, and they will generate you an extra 20%, 30% of bottom line if you actually have a team of people who isn't just a multiple hats, but rather strategists, copywriters, designers, account managers, quality assurance checkers. You get the best kind of possible experience and strategy for your brand. So it's something to keep in mind when you have, one person running your email and SMS. If our team can manage 15 plus brands, one person should not be managing your email and SMS, just because we have experience in multiple niches. We've had experience through multiple Black Fridays, and we know exactly what the customer wants. We aren't your usual email agency. There's tons of, retainer-based agencies that kind of sit on their retainer, don't really care, not very communicative. We want to build a complete relationship with you. We only take on specific brands, so that's something to keep in mind. And you work one-on-one with the founder, which is me, obviously. You have direct access to designers if you want, image ads and things like that, but also email technicians, copywriters, the top of the line copywriters, to have a really full experience and full access to our workspace and how we work. Again, email doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to be stressing about what campaigns to send the next day. Instead, why don't you just open up your Trello workspace, get full access to our copy, design, and strategy, and our 30-day outlook for the month, and make it easy. But awesome. Thanks again for watching this case study. Try to watch any of our other case studies. I'd love to tell you more. And so long. See ya.